Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another time of Bible teaching. The other day, I got a great question. The question was, is it possible that the Jewish people could be celebrating the appointed times on the wrong days? In other words, could the current Hebraic calendar in use be incorrect? And the answer is, of course it is. But luckily, God gave us his word, and we can see the errors in what they're doing, and we can look at the calendar correctly. And I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? There are four basic things that I know of that are wrong about the way that Jewish people do their calendars. So we're going to be looking on the internet, but we're also going to be looking in the Bible, and I hope you guys get a lot out of this. So let's go ahead and open up our Bibles. Again, it's a Bible study. It's not a Bible study if you don't have your Bible. Besides, you want to see what Scripture says. I just point to Scripture. Let's start by Numbers 28. And every month on a Jewish calendar starts with the new moon. Okay, and this is very important. And, you know, people get it when we get to Rosh Hashanah, and like everybody's like, when is a new moon sighted? You know, up until a recent video, my most popular video ever was, the new moon has been sighted. People are looking for this, but guess what? It's every month. Okay, in Numbers 28, verse 11, at the beginning of your months, you shall present a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish. See, it starts at the new month, at the new moon. It doesn't say that. Well, it would if you read it in Hebrew. Let's look at the words. Let's look at the word for month. New moon, right there. It's the new moon that starts the month. And actually, we see that this word is translated as new moon 20 times. So you have to start all of the months that way. A few years ago, even last year, before I learned a couple things, I had concentrated on 30 AD as the time of the rapture. It's time of the crucifixion of Messiah, because on 30 AD, the new moon was visible on Thursday. Okay. So at least, you know, that was when it was on the calendar for Nisan 15, which would, you know, Passover starts on Nisan 14, but it starts at the evening. So you go into the next day, which is the 15th. So that's when he was crucified. And Thursday is the day of the crucifixion. If you have a problem with that, 2 things to ask yourself. One, if you think it's Friday, try to get 3 days and 3 nights. Doesn't have to be full days. It doesn't say that in Scripture. Try to get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday. Can't be done. Now, if you think it's on Wednesday, you got 2 problems. The Passover lamb had to be in the house to be examined, or the temple, for 4 days. That means Messiah would have been riding a donkey into Jerusalem on the Sabbath, on Saturday. He wouldn't do that. He would be a Torah breaker, because you can't make the animals work. Also, the women, Mary and the Marys, they had to go to the tomb, and they went on Sunday. Why did they wait till Sunday? Because they had to wait till the Sabbath was over. If he's crucified on Thursday, the next day is a Sabbath. It's a feast of unleavened bread, Friday. The next day is a Sabbath. It's a weekly Sabbath. Sunday is not a Sabbath. It is the feast of first fruits, but that is not a Sabbath. Any other day, it doesn't work. Anyhow, enough on that. So it hit me. Oh, I guess, when was it? Beginning of last year? I'll take it back. Right before Rosh Hashanah last year, that on the month that Messiah was crucified, what if they didn't see the new moon for a month or 2? That could change what year he's crucified in. So Every month starts with the sighting of the new moon, and that is not done. Next. Let's look at Shavuot this year. And you can see that it begins at sundown at June 11th, and it ends at nightfall, or excuse me, it begins at sunset and ends at sunset, same thing. The 11th through the 13th. Well, that's 2 full days on a Jewish calendar. Okay. So now let's go to take a look at it in Leviticus 23. And this is more than just this one feast day. I'm bringing out more an example of just one place. For the Feast of Weeks, you should count 50 days to the seventh Sabbath, then offer a new grain on the 50th day. If you read through here, there is nothing that says it's 2 days. It's 1 day. They do this with lots of appointed times. They make it 2 days. It's not 2 days in Scripture. It's only 1 day. Okay. Same thing with Rosh Hashanah. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yep. Sorry about that. Give me a second. See, the second to the fourth, 2 full days. Biblically, it should only be 1 day. That's been changed. Let's go back here. Notice the dates. It says it starts on Tuesday, June 11th, and ends on Thursday, June 13th. So let's go back to Leviticus 23 and notice something here. It says specifically, count 50 days to the day after the seventh Sabbath. Oops. How in any way is this the day after the Sabbath? There are no other feast days to be a Sabbath because some of the Sabbath's not just Saturday. Some of the feast days are Sabbath. And if you know that because it talks about a holy convocation in Leviticus 23 when it's a Sabbath, it's not. It's not. Actually, Shavuot this year is the 15th to the 16th. Saturday night into Sunday and ends Sunday at evening twilight. Why do they do this wrong? All right. Same thing for, let's go back to Leviticus 23, and let's look at Passover, which is the Feast of First Fruits. And we missed it. Here we go. Passover and unleavened bread. These are the feasts of the Lord, my holy convocation, which you shall proclaim on the appointed times. On the 14th day of the first month at twilight is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Here are 2 Sabbath days in a row. Oh, excuse me, Passover is not a Sabbath day. On the first day, that would be the 15th. It's the first day of the 8 days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You shall have a holy convocation and do no customary work on it. But you shall bring an offering made by fire to the Lord for 7 days. The 7th day shall be a holy convocation. Okay, so that's how and so the 7th day and the first day are Sabbaths. You see that? Let's look at the Feast of First Fruits. What happened on the Feast of First Fruits? Messiah arose. So we've got, what do we have back here? The 14th day, the 15th day. And where's the one I'm looking for? I just want to get to that one verse. Harvest, he shall wave before the Lord be accepted. And on that, yep. He shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted on your behalf on the day after the Sabbath. The day after the Sabbath. Now the question is, which Sabbath? Is it, since the 15th is a Sabbath, is it that day, the 16th, or is it the day after the weekly Sabbath? Well, the question is, can God count to 16? If he wanted to standardize it and make it the 16th, he would have said so. I think he can count to 16. I know that sounds a little funny. Here's the thing. You count the 7 Sabbaths and then the day after the Sabbath, it leads you nowhere on Shavuot unless this is the day after the weekly Sabbath. So there was a change made, and the Jewish people standardized the Feast of First Fruit to be on the 16th. They did it at a place called Yavneh. Not it, not it. Is this mine, the one I want? Nope. Give me a second. I got to find my... Here it is. Spiritual leadership in Yavneh. The destruction of the second temple was far more disastrous to the Jewish people than the first temple. Okay, so this is about the destruction of the second temple. Let's go down here where it says Yavneh. Provincially, God had prepared the cure for the new blow. Okay, see, they thought their salvation was being in the temple. Now they don't have a temple. What do we do? They went to a place called Yavneh, and they created Rabbinic Judaism, and they made changes. One of the changes they made is they standardized the Feast of First Fruits to be on the 16th. Why? Well, there was a big split in Judaism at this time. It was like 50-50 for Orthodox Jews and Messianic Jews. And they didn't want, I can't prove this, but to me it seems obvious, they didn't want the Feast of First Fruits to always fall on a Sunday because that would look like Messiah was that Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus Christ was the Messiah because he rose on the Feast of First Fruits. They made other changes on that day. I can't prove this, it's just what I've been taught, is that they said that the Holy Spirit can come in the form of any bird except for a dove. Why? Because it was a dove that landed on the shoulder of Messiah. So when we look at this, you know, most people out there they go to the Jewish calendar and they look for Shavuot to be on the 12th. They'll look for the day of the Feast of First Fruits. They're wrong. It's always the day after the Sabbath. That's minor. Last thing, and this is the big one. Leap months. A leap year in the Jewish calendar has 13 months. Occurs 7 times. I'm sorry, let me read that again. A leap year in the Jewish calendar has 13 months and occurs 7 times in a 19-year cycle. In Hebrew, a leap year is referred to as, or a pregnant year. Here's the thing. In order to keep the spring festivals in the spring and the fall festivals in the fall, they have to do this to standardize their calendar. It's similar to the leap year that we use on our calendars. The leap month, the leap day. You know what I'm talking about, February. So, how does God do it? What did God say how to keep the calendar right? I didn't pull this one up ahead of time, so give me a minute. Try 10th day. I know what to do. Deuteronomy 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt. Okay, so that's simple. The month of Abib, God brought you out of Egypt. You're observing and keep the month of Passover to your God in it. Sorry, I'm stumbling my words a little bit. What month would Abib be where Passover is in it? Nisan, right? That's the that's the head of the months. The new year for months, not to be confused with the new year for years on Rosh Hashanah. I'll show you that in a second real quick. All right, so what does this word Abib mean? Fresh, young barley ears, barley, the month of ear forming, the greening of the crop, the growing of green Abib, the month of Exodus and Passover. See, this month starts when the barley is almost ripe. so that when you come to the Feast of First Fruits and you wave a sheaf of the first fruits of the barley to the Lord, you have the first fruits of the barley. This is how God kept his calendar in check. And it could be, so on any given year, it's possible the calendar is off by a month. Now, every year this resets. So if they did something wrong 3 years ago, it doesn't matter because every year this is supposed to reset. There are places in Israel, people in Israel that do check for the barley. They don't proclaim it to be a bead. Only the priest can do that. This past year, going into the month of Nisan, a leap month was added before Nisan started. We did lots of videos about it. It's that leap month is always called Adar 2. Actually, I think Adar 2 becomes the old Adar, and the new Adar is Adar 1, something like that. So there is a possibility that the calendar right now is a month ahead of itself. Okay. But when I looked at all the forecast about the barley and what everybody was saying, it did not look like the barley would have been a beeb at the time of Adar 2. It looks like the calendar is correct. There is a slim chance that the rapture could be early September and not early October. Very, very slim chance from what I had seen. I was going to show you one more thing. So I'm going to look up 4 New Year's, Jewish New Year's. What do you mean 4 Jewish New Year's? That's crazy. They don't have 4 Jewish New Year's. What are the 4 Jewish New Year's? Here they are. Nisan 1. New Year's for kings and festival. That's for the feast days, the appointed times. Elul 1, New Year for animal ties. Tishri 1, the new year for years. See, the years, when you change a year, it's at Tishri 1. And tribulation is a week of years, 7 years in a row. You have to start the beginning of the year. You can't start in the middle of a year. Yeah, it's the beginning of the year. And then you have a new year for trees. I've actually seen people try to take the new year for trees as the rapture. It's crazy. Anyhow. So just to recap, there are several reasons why the current Jewish calendar or Hebraic calendar can be off. 1, every month has to start with a new moon. Every month. And that would include the month in which Messiah was crucified. So you're really looking for, if anybody's digging into this, you're not just looking for Nisan 15 to be on a Thursday. It could be on a Wednesday. It could be on a Tuesday. Second, these feast days that the Jews keep doing is 2 days or 1 day. You just have to read Leviticus 23 to see, Leviticus 23 to see what it says. Shavuot and the Feast of First Fruits are always Saturday into Sunday. It's the day after the Sabbath, and the Jewish calendar gets it wrong. And leap months. There are no such thing biblically as a leap month. You have to set each year by the barley being almost right. Anyhow, thank you for watching. God bless you.